So this is a new setting that I added for this version, and I also made some bug fixes to this one. If you were using this feature in r15480 and when you check this you didn't uncheck it afterwards at any time, and you were playing single player, then I don't think you would have experienced any of the bugs. Basically, it had to do not with the feature itself, but with it being recognized by games. So if you were to have this checked, start a map, save it, and then load the save, it would be okay as long as you didn't later come uncheck it and then go back and reload the save again, because it would actually just pick up whatever was here and not the actual game. I did not put anything into the save file regarding whether if this was checked or not when you first started the game like I should have. So all issues with this have been fixed. It is now as I described in the previous video. And I didn't really catch any of that until I added this feature in, so I'm glad I decided to add this in. One of the people who triggered me to make this in the past asked about it again, and I wanted to add this in but I forgot about it, and now that I know how to actually add in a new setting here, I thought that it would be best for me to add this in. Because players like him, even though they're fans of the vanilla, as many of you know at this point, every new feature I've added in can be disabled or simply not used if you don't want to use it. And now, as I say on page 3 of the user manual, any maps that are made for the vanilla and work in the vanilla should work in this mod. So I didn't see any harm in trying to push it on him to use the mod. And besides that, it doesn't look like the Remake developers are going to do anything like this for these kind of players who just come back for nostalgia and occasional play. So I tried to encourage him to use the mod, and he seemed excited about it. But this feature can be used. As I said on the new page 20 of the user manual, this feature can give human players some additional help, especially in co-op maps that are unbeatable or imbalanced to them. So this can be for more advanced players too. And in addition, just yesterday, as you can see, there was a bug report that you can't build towers in the Shattered Kingdom Mission 20, which is true. He wasn't imagining things. And he's the same guy who came up with the idea for the plan order construction. He kind of triggered both of these to happen for this mod. So yeah, so in the most recent vanilla remake version, they removed difficulties for the campaigns altogether, at least for the Shattered Kingdom and the Peasants' Rebellion, because it's just they didn't work anyway, and in the process of doing that, somehow some buildings are blocked when they shouldn't be. I don't know if everyone has seen the r15480 video, but this, if you just click on it first and then hold down control while you right click, it goes backwards. But if you right click, it goes forwards. But basically, now I can start mission 20 so we can test it out. Now I have all the buildings because I have this feature enabled. I don't know how the Remake developers and the team in charge here, how can they let the campaign reset bug last for over 4 months? And now this, that you can't build towers in mission 20. But the point is, now we can use this feature to bypass any mistakes that they make with any missions at all, anywhere. This doesn't just work for campaigns. This can be used for more advanced players also. Because let's say there's a new unit balance in one vanilla remake version from the next, and I build this from the vanilla, so whatever I do will be naturally inherited from the vanilla unless I change it. Then maps are going to be imbalanced, and maybe this feature can be used to, if I was pointing this one I meant this one, but both of them are really nice, but this one I'm talking about right now can be used to help balance it back. Like in a map like Fight the Landlord, this is a classic example because you're not allowed to build iron mines. Well, you are, but you'd have to come way up here to these mountains. I talk about this, I have a video on this where I did a speed run. But now if you have the ability to unlock all the buildings, then you can do some trading for iron ore without having to go build this, for example. I also mentioned in the user manual that this is only going to affect human players only. So only human players are going to be able to build every single building and train every single unit when you check this. And I state my reasons why here and some additional information. But the other big thing is that for multiplayer, it's disabled for everyone. It's not like this feature here, that plan order construction, because I think that's a desirable feature by most. If they don't want it, then they can disable it. But this one, I think most people are not going to want this. So in multiplayer and co-op, I have it disabled by default, but I have a scripting function in red for the first time that it's not a disable, but it's actually like an enable. But this is exactly what it does. And you can use pre-existing scripting functions from the vanilla to enable certain buildings, not all of them, and certain units, not all of them, but this will behave just like this. But you will have to, if you're playing multiplayer or co-op, you're going to have to manually put this in on mission start. As I say with all of these, it has to go in procedure on mission start, and I show how to do that in this video. So if you haven't seen this video, you may feel like I'm pushing you to go watch it, but you really need to see this one. This is, even though it's that long, there's so many changes, you're just not going to know what's going on if you have a previous version you never used or you never seen any of my videos before. Speaking of which, on the new page 4 of the user manual, I have this so that you can see all the videos. I'm going to post a link to this video before I publish this. I'm going to make this a hyperlink that you can find this video from. And this user manual can be accessed by clicking on this. But anyway, this includes some versions that I didn't even post on YouTube at all. That's why they don't have videos. I separated this into 2 sections because the first chunk is made from a previous vanilla remake version, but all of these have been made from this one. Hopefully the next update to this mod is when the next vanilla remake is updated. This is literally one of the last things that I wanted to add into the mod. I just somehow forgot. And I wouldn't have been able to do it in the past when I first started making this mod because I wasn't familiar with any of this to do that. But since I did this one, now I can do this one. Another change I made has to do with test maps. So for people who are like me that do game analysis, if you were to press F11 and then click the times 300 speed to speed things up, well, that's what I did in the past, but that's just too cumbersome for me when I now have the power to make it so that we can start the game off at 300 speed. Before, you could start the game up to times 10 speed, but that was it. If you put anything more than 10, it would just stay at times 10. But now if I put it at times 300 and I were to quick play this map, there you go. And speaking of the F11 menu, I have now made this darker than what it was before because I find that at nighttime it would hurt my eyes, and it seems like this one, even though it's still kind of bright, it's not as dark as what I wanted it to be. It's still enough now that it's equivalent to the current setting that I have for the lighting, and the current setting that I have for the lighting in this is very dim. It's at 1. I didn't intend for plan, order, construction, and unlock all buildings and units to be here. That's kind of scary. Don't change these while you're playing the game. I mean, it's just not a good idea, but okay. I mean, they happen to be here. I thought it was just from options that they were available, but I just learned this at this moment. I just came here to see brightness, which is mysteriously not in the options, right? But they are. So okay, that's fine. So anyway, those are 2 additional changes that I made besides the bug fixes to this. That's all there really is for this version. And of course, I guess I could say I have updated the user manual somewhat, made it more user friendly for people who are maybe on KaM Discord and who have one of these and want to see an old replay. I didn't have links to these available anymore on KaM Discord. I deleted all those posts, but now the links are back. And I also have added this in. This was from the video for r15480 as it says here. I just didn't include this in the user manual, but just so that people in the future who have played my mod or who haven't and want to know that this is available and that I was the one who first added it in. The remake developers are interested in adding this in, but the way I gave it to them is not the way they wanted, and I think that's sort of like, to put it in simple terms, is like when a kid spends 3 hours on math homework and the teacher complains when the student gives it to them because he or she did it in pen instead of in pencil. So if they want to eventually add this and they want to use my code, not reinvent the wheel, then they can use my code. But I'm just saying that for vanilla remake fans, this may not be added into the vanilla remake, at least not by the current KaM remake developers, the way things are looking. And as always, if you get a bug, please just use my bug report video that I have several links to in the user manual, as well as if you just click on this, you'll pull it up. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.